Hey guys, it's Typical Chess Player, and I'm here with a video on how to play chess. So this is more of a beginner video, and I'm going to be releasing more intermediate and advanced videos in the future, so look out for those. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get right into it. So this right here is a pawn. It is worth 1 point, and it moves up one square at a time. So for example, pawn would move like this. Now, there's an exception to this rule. On the first move, you can move a pawn up 2 squares, so like this. But the only thing is, after you move a pawn 2 squares, you can only move it up 1 square after that. So like if I try to move the pawn up 2 squares here, you see it won't let me. So you can only move it up 1 square after that. Now let's talk about the knight. So the knight here is worth 3 points, and it moves in an L shape. So to show you what I mean, it moves 2 squares in any general direction, like up, down, side to side, and then 1 square over, so to the left or to the right. So a knight move would be like this. And yes, the knight is the only piece in the game that can hop over a piece like it just did with this pawn. Yeah, so the next piece we'll be talking about is the bishop. So this right here is the bishop. It is worth 3 points, and it moves diagonally. So I'm just going to push up these 2 pawns. Yeah, so you'll notice that the bishop moves diagonally, and whatever color the square is that it starts on, so you'll notice there's white and black squares in chess on the board, and this bishop starts on a white square. So it can only move diagonally on white squares. And if you notice, this bishop is on a black square, so it moves diagonally only on black squares. Next, we're going to talk about the rook. So this right here is the rook, and it is worth 5 points. And it moves up and down and side to side as long as there's no objects in its path. So if we were to play like this, the rook can move up like this, or maybe just 1 square. And now you'll notice that the rook has this whole line to move. So the rook could play all the way over here if it wants to. But yeah, it's normally just up and down, side to side. That's all you have to remember for a rook. But yeah, so now we're going to talk about the queen, which is, in my opinion, the most powerful piece, and I think in a lot of people's opinions, because number one, it's worth 9 points in chess, and it's a bishop and a rook combined. So I'm just going to show you guys how this works. So the queen can move up like a rook, like so, and also 1 square if it wants, but it can also move diagonally like this. And so just to show you the moves of the ways that a queen can move like this. You get the general idea. So it's basically a bishop and a rook combined. That's all you have to remember. And now we're going to talk about the king, which is the most important piece in chess because it is the piece that determines when the game ends. So the king is actually really simple to move. It's just 1 square in any direction. So it'll be, it can move 1 square up and down, side to side, diagonally. But yeah. And now we're going to talk about checking. So checking is a very important aspect of chess because you'll be doing a lot of it, trust me, when you start playing chess. So let's just play some pawn moves here. And now you'll notice that the queen can move diagonally, right? So I'm going to move it all the way to this square. And what's happening now is you'll notice that this queen is attacking the king. So the only piece in chess that you can check is the king. And you can check a king by attacking it. So when it's in the line of attack. So the queen moves like a bishop also, right? So the king is in the diagonal, or I'm going to call this yellow line the line of attack, right? So now that it's attacking it, you would say check. And the king has a few options to get out of check. Number one, it can simply move away from the check. So by moving here, you would see that it gets out of the line of attack. But now if we go back, you can see that if I were to move my king over to this square, right, it's still in the line of attack. So you wouldn't be getting out of the check. And the second way is to simply block a check. So by moving this pawn up 1 square, you see that you're cutting off this line of attack. So now it just stops here at the pawn. But yeah, that's the simple thing just to remember about checking, the two ways to get out of checks. I'll cover a third way in the next video, but for this video, this is like pretty much all I'm going to get to. And the most important thing, probably, I know I've said most important a lot, but is checkmate. So checkmate is when you end a chess game. So I'm just going to play some simple moves here, just the start of a chess game. And I'll be playing the queen to check the king again, like so. And you notice now that the king is in the line of attack of the queen, so he's in check. But the thing is now the king doesn't have any way to stop the check. So checkmate is basically when the king is checked, but it has no way to get out of the check. So this would be a checkmate because you see that the only square for the king is to move here. But it doesn't allow it because what you'll notice is that this square is still in the line of attack. And you can't block the check with any piece. So this would be a checkmate. But yeah, this is like a really important part of chess because it's like how the game ends. And it decides, like in this case, right, black won the game because they checkmated the white king. Or he or she checkmated the white king. But yeah, this is kind of like a good thing to remember and just practice moving the pieces around if you're trying to learn, because the best way to learn chess is just to practice. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.